Okay, let's play with the picture plane again, and we're going to look at a square. Basically, in this case, it is two-dimensional because it has height and it has width. That's 2D, two-dimensional. So when we have a square, that's all we got, and we're wanting to create the illusion of depth and actually make it a cube. So first thing we need to do is you're going to find yourself a horizon line, and again, the horizon line represents your eye level. So it represents you standing here. And the vanishing point represents where you are in this space. So you would be here, standing here, looking back. And your eye level would be here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to play with the idea. We're going to use a template. These are pretty cool. And I'm just going to make an easy way to do boxes. I'm going to put a box over here. And I'm going to do a big box right above the vanishing point, which I want you to do. And one to the right and left. I want you to cross the horizon line with one, so I'm going to go with one right about here. And on this side, go with one here. So far we have one above, one on the horizon line, or either right or left, and then one above to the right and left. Then we're going to go down here in the bottom. I'd like them to be parallel and perpendicular to the vertical and horizontal lines, like this box is. In other words, not turned. We'll turn them after you get more confident. So we're going to keep them parallel and perpendicular to the horizontal and vertical edge of our page here. And then I'm going to put one more right here in front of us. Now, anytime you have a template like this, they come in different sizes. So you could play with it. And let's say you wanted to make a larger square. I am going to show you a trick. You can take, say, this one right here, do a part of it, slide it over, line it up, and finish it. So you can use these templates. They come in, a lot of these are dealing with like actual chairs and tables, and they're all in space that are created for specific working with graphing. Alright, so here we are, drafting, not grafting, drafting. Alright, so here I have my cubes, okay, my squares right now, and this is basically this. But what we have to do is we have to look at this thing in space. So if I turn this cube like this, and it's going back in space now, I can see the front of the cube, and I can see these two horizontal lines going back in space. So these two horizontal lines going back in space are drawn like that, okay? But in this world here, and you can kind of already see them converging. They're already converging. So what the idea is, I am standing above this box. Here's the front of that box. And I am looking down on the top. So we'll use the vanishing point. We'll have our lines converge to the vanishing point. There it is. And probably I should have gone a little darker. It's a little hard to see these. I'm going to go a little darker. Normally I would not want to go dark because I want to be able to actually erase it. But I have to be able to allow for you to see. So there's the front of our box, our cube, our box, and then there's the top of the box. And we have this line right here, which is located right there. And then what we want to do is we want to identify this line. This one is parallel to the front edge. These two run together forever and ever. So they're parallel to each other. So we want to show that in space here. So in order to get that back line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my ruler right here on the front edge, and I'm going to slide it back, and I'm going to decide that's as far as back as my box will go, and I draw my horizontal line right there. Horizontal, parallel to this horizontal edge in the front. So now what I see, because I'm standing right here and this is my vanishing point and this is my horizon line, my eye level, I can see the front of the box and the top of the box. But I cannot see the side of the box unless I move it to the right or to the left. And when I do that, we're dealing with these two boxes. All right, so let's do that. We're going from this edge, again, going to the vanishing point. From here, it's converging. And from here. So this is our sides. So top, front, sides, converging. All right, so now we have to deal with the vertical rule. The vertical rule is everything that's vertical in my world is drawn vertical on my paper. So here I have a vertical line, and here I have a vertical line. These two lines are vertical. This one and this one. So I'm looking at it like this. This one's vertical. So what I'm going to do is I have to make it vertical on my paper. So here we are, vertical front edge. Slide it back until you're happy with how deep you want the box to be. Give yourself a nice vertical line. And then once again, just like this one where it's parallel to the front edge of that box, we're going to slide our ruler back until it's parallel and horizontal to this front edge and draw our line. And then what you do is you get rid of what you don't need. So you would erase these. And again, draw lighter so that you can easily erase these. They should never be as hard as I'm drawing them here. So you should be able to get rid of them completely. So you would continue doing all these boxes. And again, if I raise the box up, oh yeah, here we go. And if I raise it up and I hold it like this, now all you can see is the front of the box, and you can see the side of the box, but you cannot see the top or the bottom of the box. That's this box, because basically it's at our eye level. So again, to the vanishing point, to the vanishing point. The rule is everything is vertical in my world. There's my vertical line. Slide it back. Take it back as far as you want. Make sure it's vertical. Draw your vertical line. There's the box from the side. Now you erase what you don't need, which I do not want it to be see-through. So I'm going to take away my horizontal line, and I'm going to take away those lines that were converging. Remember that you want to keep this vanishing point to a point, not a blob, so keep it small. All right, so it would keep going. This one would go here, cut it off. This one goes here, and again, you're going to use your ruler because there's going to be moments like right here where that box is going to overlap that box. So when I get to that box, I stop. And then I can start again if I'd like, but I'm not going to because it's going to mess with this one. From here, and then from way up here. Again, this one's above my eye level. It's above me. So now I can see the side of the box, the front of the box, and the bottom of the box. Now I'm going to, again, lay my ruler here, bring it down until I get to that corner, keeping it parallel, draw my horizontal line, erase what I don't need. You're going to keep going all the way around every one of the boxes. I do not have to take them all the way to the vanishing point as long as my ruler is lined up from the point to the edge of the box. Again, here's that vertical rule. Everything's vertical in my world is drawn vertical on my paper. Erase what I don't need. Box down here. Note that I am just lining it up, but I don't have to go the whole way, so I can just do that. Find my vertical, make sure it's parallel to the vertical edge of my box. Line up my horizontal line, slide it back until I get to the corner. Keep it parallel with the front of the box. Erase what I don't need. You're going to cut off every box. So we're going all the way around. We got 2 more from this side. And now you can tell that you are standing right here in the middle of all this, and you can see this one's a tight one. I'm going to go jump over here, finish up those lines. Cut off my box parallel to the vertical edge, or the horizontal line of my box. Sorry. Erase what I don't need. Find the vertical on this box. Make sure your ruler is parallel to the vertical edge. Sometimes when you get like really far back, you'll start to do a diagonal, so watch yourself. This is a really tough one. So right here I'm horizontal, parallel to that bottom edge of my box, and I'm just going to slide it down until I get to that corner. And it's like I'm right here and I can just barely see the bottom of that box. And I erase what I don't need. So at this point I have all my boxes done. Now remember, to create the illusion of depth, we want to actually use value. And so in this one, there's a certain way that I want you to learn to color these boxes. You'll have to show me both examples, so I'm going to show you both. Alright, the first way is to follow the form itself. So I'm just going to follow the fact that I know that this is a vertical line, and I'm just going to use my pencil and I'm going to put in the lines, and I'm coloring it the direction of the box. In this case, it's vertical. And I can go in there and add my blending stub and smooth out all those values. And remember, every edge to a cube is a different value. So every plane. Alright, so the top of it, I'm going to make that one darker. So the top was going to follow it this direction. So you want to make sure that you follow the form. If you color across that form, you color across this diagonally, you're going to flatten the entire image. So you don't want to do that. So we want to keep any lines that we can possibly have going in the direction that they're supposed to go in. So I colored with the form itself. Now, in order to create the illusion of depth, I can actually add depth to the box. So I can go in there and actually make it just a little bit darker back here. So I'm going to be looking to see you add value to the boxes and add a dark to light quality to it. And on top here, just slightly darker here and lighter as it comes forward. The front of the box we can leave alone at this point. So I would like to see you color them, but there's one more way I want you to color these, and that's with the actual vanishing point. And in doing this technique, you actually create that feeling of movement. So I'm going to follow the line that would be as if it was going to the vanishing point. And so I'm coloring the box with that kind of movement. I'm going to leave a little bit of the harsh lines, darkening my area back here. Okay, so you can see this almost creates, this one's more almost still, where this one has more movement. If you can see the movement in it, it gives us that feeling that it's coming forward or it's falling back. And when you get right here, again, you're going to go with the line direction. Just make sure when you're coloring these that you're conscious of what you're wanting it to look like. How would I deal with this one? I definitely would go vertical. That's how I would handle the front edge of that box. I would go vertical, or I would go horizontal, but personally I like vertical because again it intensifies the idea that this is going up and down. And this box has a lot more movement towards forward and backward. It feels that way. Now, one of the things I'd like you to start learning to do is getting rid of the hard black lines. So you can see I have a hard line here. I would like to see you take your values just dark enough that we lose the black line. So I'm actually going to go a little darker on my side here and trying to lose that black line. And on top, this is the reason we see this edge at all, is because this edge is lighter than that edge. And again, you can either take the background dark as your line, or you have to do the background itself darker than the line. In this case, I'm actually going to color the box. Now here, the reason that we see this line at all is because this edge is slightly darker than the front edge. And you can even lighten it up if you want. It's a little too light for me. Alright, so color with the form, either going to the vanishing point. Remember, both of these have to be treated as two different edges, and so you will have to darken one. Make a decision which one is darker, which one is in shadow. And on this one, we're coloring with the form this way, either horizontally or vertically. Okay, so the next thing we want to play with is how do we make a letter in a box. So I'm going to do, I want to do and I would like you to do your initials. I would like you to pick 3 of your initials and the letter S. So I am going to do the letter S first. I'm going to fill, okay, so here's a letter S. Alright. So I know that it comes around. So I'm going to fill the entire box. I'm using the entire box for this letter S. So here's the top, and here's the bottom. Okay, and then it goes across. And here I'm going to go over like this. And then I can erase, and I can adjust that letter to suit me. Make the bottom a little larger, move it around until I'm happy with the shape. If I did a letter K, I'm going to, again, filling the whole box. So here, that's the back side of the K. Using the whole box. Now there is a reason why I want to do this, because at some point, what if I want to take these letters out? So if I can learn to draw the box or keep it in the box, and I've learned how to do linear perspective this way, then I can actually learn to cut out the letters. You are not going to be required to cut out the letters on this assignment. However, I do want your letters drawn on the end of the boxes, but I am going to cut out this K so you can see it done. Oops, wiggle, wiggle. All right, from the center here to the vanishing point. From the bottom corner of the K to the vanishing point. And can I go from here? No, because you can't see it. I'm standing here and I can't see the other side of that, but I can see from this point. So lining up that corner to the vanishing point, I'll draw. Now I follow the form. If this is a vertical line up, I'm going to just color it so you can see. I'm going to go up. And here, I'm going to go to that same thickness. Here again, same thickness. All right. This part of the letter is going this direction. So I'm going this direction. And this one is going this direction. Now there's a point where I want to think, okay, this is more in shadow, so this edge is going to go darker. And so you can create the letters in perspective. Throw in your shadows. All of this can be worked with and played with once you understand how to fill the entire box. So your job is to do an S, because that's the hardest letter. Pick a box after you've drawn them, and then also do your initials. So if you have the initials S in, the S is in your initials, well, that's fine. I just would like to see one S and then 2 other letters, so maybe you get a little lucky. You've had a harder time drawing over the years, so we're going to give you a little bit of a freedom here because S's are tough. All right, so basically what I want from you guys is to finish this assignment coloring the boxes dark to light. I want you to show me these examples of coloring horizontally and vertically, as well as with it going to the vanishing point. And then you can choose to color the other boxes dark to light, whichever direction you would like to do. I'm going to do it vertically. And again, this one's going to go dark to light. But this is assuming that back here is in darkness. What if back here is actually the light source? In which case you might go from dark this direction. So dark to light. And that can be really fun. So again, you're going to play with which direction are you doing it, but just remember, I need to see that you understand the concept of how to color it, the 2 directions that I would ask you to do. If you color across it, you're flattening the image, so we don't want that. So this is okay. Now this is a little weird when you combine them, but that's all right. We're going to play. That's what you're learning. So draw 8 boxes, basically 1 above, 1 below, 1 on the right, and 1 on the left of the horizon line. Notice they are crossing the horizon line. This is the horizon line. 1 to the right and left, 1 to the right and left at the bottom and at the top. So it's as though I'm standing right here, my eye level is here, and I'm looking down, and I can see the tops and bottoms of these boxes and the sides. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to finish this, color it, you're going to add your initials, make sure that you add the letter S, and when you have that complete, sign and date, and make sure it's close enough to the imagery that it can be seen. Have fun.